Hey Tankers, it's Ace, back with another one of my commentary videos. Today I'm actually bringing you guys video content on the M48 Patton. If you have watched any of my other videos, I also did two other videos, one on the M60, and as well as a side-by-side comparison of the M48 to the M60, kind of discussing the differences between the two tanks, though they are very small. They both play very similarly, and I personally seem to like the M48 and have better success in that tank over the M60, and that might go coinciding with that whole thing that Wargaming stated, that even premium vehicles of the same tier were always going to be lesser grade or lesser quality in some senses than a regular tier tank that you're going to be able to unlock. That maybe may not be the most historically accurate way to go about doing things, because the M60 was much more technically, logically advanced than the M48. But nonetheless, the M48 is an excellent tank. It does do, I think, in my opinion, better because of its smaller weak points, and the guns it just seems to be really, in my opinion, a little bit better balanced. You get like a little slightly better armor in exchange for a little less quality gun. But I mean, the rate of fire is the same, and there's, like as I've said before, the things that really work well for this vehicle are about the same as the M60, and in some senses a little bit better in the areas where they should be, in my opinion, in my playstyle. And the reason why is because I feel like most of the engagements that you'll face in a tank in a medium is you're going to want to engage in medium ranges. There are going to be long range engagements that you will encounter, and I do notice and seem to find out that those do happen on certain maps in certain instances, as well as more often than not in late game where there's less vehicles on the map and you're playing to win the game, when there's like down to maybe 5 or 6 vehicles left on each team. Then at that point, distance shooting is going to play a much more major role, unless you're coordinating really well with your teammates. But more often than not, you're going to find yourself in mid-range situations. The M48 as well as the M60 both have excellent view ranges, probably the best view ranges for a tier 10 medium. 420 view range, so using it as a forward observer and playing a kind of a passive scout and kind of doing the peekaboo lighting is always a great idea. Right here in this situation, we're here on Merkovania, and this forest is a dangerous spot to be in. However, as a medium, you can really do some really great moves here. And if you're familiar with the forest on Merkovania, you'll see a lot of TDs and sometimes heavies, an assorted mix of tanks that camp in there. And early game, it's really tough to tell whether or not the opposing team went heavy on the flank in the forest, or if they decided to go heavy on the hill. So early game, what I'm doing here is I'm playing very, just forward observer, trying to spot any vehicles that may be moving around in that forest, jockeying for position, maybe getting shots of opportunity, as well as trying to get an idea of how many vehicles are located over there. But it's a tough nut to crack, and really, if you don't see anything moving around, and eventually what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to move in and sight those targets for your teammates, or else the ball's never going to get rolling. And the problem with that is that sometimes when you do that, you're going to explode and die, and other times you're going to light up a bunch of targets and have a lot of success. So as I move out, surprise, I run right into a 704. I do get a shot off on him, but he does nail me for a good chunk of my HP. But surprisingly, I don't take a lot of fire. And with the support, the 704 burns down real quick, so I decided to take this opportunity to close in a little bit closer and kind of see if I can support that light that's moving up, and maybe get some other shots on any of the other targets that may be located in the forest, and make sure that it's empty or clear of enemy vehicles. And we spot a Leopard Prototype A moving in to run back and intercept that light and protect the artillery. Doing a good job. That medium did exactly what he was supposed to be doing, but we had really good sniper support, and they were just too light in the forest to where he could make a difference. It's unfortunate that he bit the dust, but nonetheless it happened. So that, and then in the process of doing so, that light was able to take out and destroy the artillery piece before I was able to get a shot off. But nonetheless, dead artillery is always good. So now with the forest pretty secure, we're going to go ahead and, me and Gorza and my buddy in my bat chat, we're going to go ahead and move forward here into these forward positions, see if we can get some shots of opportunity on these other vehicles. I'm letting Gorza kind of take a forward position because I've taken a little bit more damage. It's always good to kind of spread the damage out when you're platooned, jockey and play off of each other, taking the first and second positions. And we're able to destroy that ISA together. And while I'm playing back here, I'm just going to do my best to support him, engage targets that might try to pop out and threaten Gorza, or even if they try to close in to destroy him at close range. Just being mindful, and we see that T-30 is doing exactly that. He's trying to close in and get some good kills on us. And able to get a nice good shot on that T-30 and destroy him. That was actually Gold Miner from my old clan. Hey man, sorry about that. And then again we see another E-75, seeing again how accurate this tank can be at distances, and just firing from a good stationary position when you have forward eyes, you can do well at ranges with this tank, even though it has a slightly less quality gun than the M60. As I said before, you can do a lot of the same things that you can do in this tank that you can do in the M60. So, not too much of a gimp, and the characteristics are so similar. It just it's not really a big deal. I mean, if you did unlock the M60, I wouldn't. You could probably just use that tank and be sufficient with it. You wouldn't necessarily need to unlock the M48. But I already had the M48 unlocked, and regardless, I'm kind of a fan of the Patton series vehicles, so I wanted to get this tank for me anyway. But there we go, destroying that E-75 again. Seeing the power of that gun and the effectiveness of how consistently you can hit targets at range. And the reload time on it's not too bad. The bloom isn't the greatest on this gun. It used to be a lot better before they nerfed the vehicle a few patches back. But it's still not bad. The aim time on it's respectable. I'd say this is just the Patton is it's a good all-round mid to long range vehicle. Up close and personal, the reload isn't too quick, and because it's a little bit slower, it kind of makes it hard for you to maneuver in some instances. So that's something to be mindful of and to be careful of when you're playing the tank. But as a result, I mean, it still has its its strengths. It's still an excellent tier 10 medium, and if you're an American fan, I think you'll be happy with it overall. So. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to stay tuned to my channel for future videos as they come out. I will be coming out with some other lower tier vehicles as soon as I'm done doing the tier 10s as I get good games. I kind of want to focus in on those because I think that tier 10s, while a lot of people aren't necessarily the biggest fans of them, I find because of the late game content and what they are eventually what you're working towards, that you're going to want to know and be sure whatever it is, whatever line you're working down, that vehicle you're going to obtain is something that you're going to be good with as soon as you get it, and just that way you kind of know the ins and outs of it. So anyways, as I said again, thanks for watching, and take care.